Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Is Nothing Easy, the only podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, and with me today is, of course, Kaylin. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
I said say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Try this again. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, I'm going to look for a new host while this goes on. But it is a new day, a new episode, a new day.
Yeah.
And a lot of shit happened. We recorded our last episode over a week ago, I think. Yeah. No, not over a week ago. It's almost a week ago. We recorded 2 episodes back to back. No, it was over a week ago. Yeah. Because we recorded 2 episodes back to back, one the day after we recorded it. And then so now it's like a week later and we're just like, oh shit, yeah. So we're recording it the day before. I have a stream at 6. So I had to be smart about
Usually I said last week off camera or off recording to Kyle that I want to do it like record a week before, but last week I had birds in my room, so I didn't want to record anything because they were going to be loud. So
yeah.
But now they're in another room and I can relax.
They're quiet and behaved little boys.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys can tell, I have a new microphone, a Rode NT USB. I still got the fan going though. This computer is gonna get fixed in like a week or so. So I'm actually gonna have a functioning fan, like a functioning cooling system, all that. You can't hear the fan running though because, you know, I have noise suppression on. Ooh. But yeah, so I'll let the first story, I guess. I don't know. Do you have anything you'd want to talk about, Kaylin?
Not off the top of my head.
A story?
I mean, unless you have something.
I just got like shows that I watched and
we usually leave that towards the end.
I guess we do.
For everybody listening, I'm currently just like running around in Skyrim because I was working on a mod, and then I was working on a mod, and then Kyle wanted to record, so.
Yeah, and then I messaged her, and I was like, Kaylin, you idiot, we need to record. Give me a second, by the way. I'm gonna run across my room real quick to grab a beanie, because I'm realizing on the recording, I think my new microphone's really sensitive with picking up the people I'm talking to. So there might have been a slight echo there, and I'm not sure if it really existed. So just to be safe, I'm putting these babies on with my little K. Rool pin. Oh yeah, that's something that actually happened over the week, and I ordered a King K. Rool pin for my beanie, and oh my god, the artist, what is the artist on Twitter? It's Gabe Del Art. It's this K. Rool pin. They also make a Banjo and Kazooie pin, and oh, it is so good. It's like this really cartoony, kind of like Cartoon Network-y art style that I really like the look of. I don't know how to explain it, but like it's the kind of art that is just, you look at it and you're just like, I can wear that.
God, I've wanted to. There are like few things that I wanted to get on T-shirts, but never actually got on T-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I swear to God, art is one of those things you never know. Like sometimes you want it like on a shirt, but then sometimes some designs lend themselves so well to pins, which is really weird because it's a pin.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like generally, I like this person's art. I should actually, come to think of it, am I following them? I might have forgotten to follow them. I am not. Oh, I feel really ashamed at myself. Yeah, right. Kaylin can see. I got that K. Rool pin. I'm currently wearing it right now. I'm so glad that Steve Mails retweeted it. Steve Mails is the creator of K. Rool, and oh, what a king! What a king he is. Forehead daddy.
I stopped like buying pins because I kept fucking losing them. Like I had so many Persona pins on my backpack when I was in high school, and they like all disappeared. Like throughout the year, they just vanished, like one by one. So I don't buy pins anymore for that reason.
Slowly, they just started like vanishing, and you're just like, wait a second.
They just disappeared.
But yeah, no, I pins are always yeah, right there. Well, these are mighty fine, says Greg or Steve. Sorry, not Greg. Who's Greg? I can't think of a. Oh, it's Winky Greg, I think. Winkly Greg. But Mike. Oh no, Winky Steve. Who am I thinking of? Who's the Greg I'm thinking? Greg Mails. Oh, Steve Mails and Greg. Oh, they're brothers. Okay. That makes sense. Pins are one of those weird things, because I have 3 pins right now. I have the Freddy Feaker pin, a JoJo menacing pin, and the K. Rool pin. Mm-hmm. And all of them look fucking great. But yeah, no, so what's up? What's been up with you, Kalen? What's happened with you over the past few weeks, I guess?
Quarantine's been very weird, at least. I've noticed that, like, you notice you're, like, doing the same thing every day. Like, it feels like the day just keeps repeating itself. But, like, new stuff, like, happens online. Because that's all I've been doing for quarantine, is just, you know, getting online, talking to friends, and working on projects. And it just feels like a cycle. And it's so strange. Like, even when I was normally just, like, staying home and doing this before all this, but at least I, like, could go out when I wanted to. And now it's just...
Yeah, I barely went out, and just the freedom was what felt good.
Yeah. Now I'm like, man, I really want to go outside. But I know I can't.
I've been thinking about, like, recording stuff, like, with other people and, like, doing stuff, but, like, taking the proper precautions, you know, wearing a mask the entire time, using hand sanitizer, because, like, I've had this idea for a really long time, about a live-action video I want to make, and it's all being held back now by quarantine, which is what's driving me insane. But, like, overall, like, I'm glad, like, a lot of the ideas I've had have been things that I can make inside. Like, something I'm making right now, I guess it's no secret. I announced it on, YouTube, and I've been talking about it on Twitter, but, I'm making, like, a Tom and Jerry style animation right now, and I've wanted to do this for a really long time, and I thought, like, well, I'm not doing anything for a while. I might as well, right now is, like, you know, the best time type of thing.
Yeah.
Which, sorry. Dylan just sent me something really stupid. But, yeah, no, I right now, like, quarantine is, like, the perfect time for, I could never do this, so let me do it now.
Yeah.
At least when it's inside, but if it's something like, I finally want to make a live-action video, it's a lot more restricting.
Yeah. And also, to be fair, quarantine did get us to, you know, record more episodes.
You know, that is a good point. We have to give quarantine that. And watch, the second we're allowed to go outside, we're just going to be like,
it's gone.
Fuck the podcast!
What podcast?
But yeah, no, like I'm glad that like quarantine is finally letting us do certain things, but it's at the same time it's making it more difficult to do like the expanded number of things, I guess. So like there's so many things you can do on your to-do list,
Yeah.
but only so many that you can do while staying like inside, and you're
Yeah.
just like, I never thought about that before. Like you never think about like you never think about like, oh yeah, if I wanted to exercise properly, I have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I've been doing fucking sit-ups, like using my chair as a way to keep my legs from going up. And
Yeah.
it's I
I
can't just keep doing crunches the entire
the
time.
the thing that I will also give quarantine is I've been doing a lot of stuff that I probably wouldn't do normally. Because just out of complete boredom. So,
Like
I mean,
like
I'm meeting new people is one of the thing. I would have never done that if quarantine didn't happen.
yeah.
So I'm glad, but at the same time, I want to leave. And that's the first time I ever say that. I want to actually like get and leave my house, get out and leave.
Yeah, I actually want to do things. What the fuck?
It's like reverse fucking psychology.
Yeah, it's like I feel like once quarantine's over, I feel like it's gonna get to a certain point where like all of us start to flood all of us start to like flood the things we wanted to do so much that like things inside are like left in the dust.
Yeah.
Um yeah, no, it's weird. It definitely is weird.
We should
But
talk about the Twitter account.
oh yeah, the Twitter account. We have a Twitter account, and we scheduled like we made like when's the last post? Oh shit, we've actually have been
I scheduled.
we actually
some
have
tweets.
been consistently tweeting things. Okay. We've been trying to consistently tweet non sequitur stupid shit every week.
Yeah.
But or every week, every day. But it definitely does make things like difficult to it makes things difficult to like thoroughly keep track of, because we have to realize, like, we have to remember, oh, who's making the tweet today?
Yeah, we
And
we
then, like, we'll
switch
check.
like days.
We don't have any. Oh wait, do we have any scheduled right now?
Maybe.
We don't have any scheduled. Let me
I
schedule some.
I
right
just
now.
watched a deer drown itself. I really like Skyrim. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in real life. And I
No.
was like, Kaylin.
It was just he just walked in the like he was trying to swim to the other side and he just died in the water. I'm like, okay, I guess you really want to do that. I also gotta kill my wife
I also do that.
in Skyrim.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. Skyrim's a fucking weird game.
Have you ever actually sat down and played Skyrim, Kyle? 'Cause I know you.
For like maybe back in like 2012, I tried it. When did it come out?
Probably 2011, I want to say.
Yeah, 2011. I tried it back in like I want to say like I tried it like freshman or sophomore year of high school, and I couldn't
Yeah.
get into it. It's not my kind of game.
Yeah.
I like open world games,
I
but
like playing
Skyrim
it
was-
because I like messing around in it. And the game's really stupid.
Yeah, it's like with me and GTA.
Yeah.
It's I understand the appeal. I definitely do. It's just not
Yeah.
my kind of. I can only handle like a. How do I put this? Medieval stuff or just generally like times of Skyrim type games. I don't know what you'd call it. Like that's not medieval, but I feel like it's the wrong term. But like the time of knights, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I've never really been crazy about things like that. It takes a lot to hook me into it, which is why I like Zelda so much because it took that formula that I don't like, and then it's just like it did something with it, and it made it like more interesting.
Yeah.
And by did something, I mean I guess all of them kind of do something, but it kind of like homogenizes after a while. Like you can only see so many medieval things with knights and the queen and the king and dragons, and it's like, yeah, like you see it so often. I think the reason I like Zelda is because it goes into the more like folklore-y type ordeal of the old timies. Which is another reason I could never get into Game of Thrones. I tried to get into Game of Thrones. I had people left and right in college telling me that Game of Thrones was like the greatest show ever, and I couldn't get it. I watched like an episode and a half, and I was just like, this isn't for me.
I sat down and watched like a few of the episodes of the last season because I was bored and my parents were watching it. It is definitely a strange show. Like I didn't even understand what was going on the time I was watching. It was just it was weird.
Yeah, it's a weird show. I can see the appeal, but it's just like it feels so homogenized. It feels like it's just another Dragon Knight like royalty show, and it's just you can only see like it's like it feels like you could go anywhere for that, which is why it's kind of boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
What was Lord of the Rings was actually one that I never finished it. I never finished the first movie, but that did interest me because like even though it's much more folklore-ish, which I always liked that kind of like I always liked it when they leaned more into the fantasy rather than the fantastical natures of like when the craziest your show gets is dragon or like orc, elf, like stuff like that, you know, like snow creature. Once that's as crazy it gets, like I want shit where it's like they're flying fucking falcons that can pierce the heavens and you ride on them, or like what's a Balrog? What is a? Give me a second.
I don't know if you're.
Yeah, like the fucking Balrog, bro. The fucking Balrog was like kick ass. I fucking shit like that. Like in characters like Ganon or Ganondorf, like things like that. I like when it's more fantasy.
Yeah.
Which side note, by the way, Balrog. I actually have a character named Balrog, but I just really like it. I really like that name.
Yeah, it's a good name.
But yeah, what about you? What's your kind of medieval show, medieval game type of thing?
I think I really like, honestly, there's not like a genre of like time periods that I don't like when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like one moment I can be like pure like medieval dragons and kings and knights, and then the next I'm like, I really want sci-fi or something like that.
I'm feeling
I don't think I have one that I hate. I guess maybe because I write too much stuff that's similar. And I've tried to dabble with every genre to branch out my writing stuff. But
yeah,
it's
that makes sense.
Because you ask somebody and they ask you what's your favorite. I don't have like a favorite. It's just, I guess it's just there for me. Because whatever, depending on how I am at the time, like what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense for a like because I don't write. I probably should get into writing, but I don't write. I definitely understand the whole we're going to beat you to death. I'm going to write multiple different genres to widen my palette.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about writing a few different stories recently. Of course, I have, CNA, which is, pirates, haha, sail the seven seas type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I really have been wanting to write recently is I have a series, for anybody who doesn't know, I have a series called The Arrowverse, which is where my persona is from. My persona is the character that's based off of me from the Arrowverse, and I like the concept of the characters. There's my character who's really cocky and arrogant, and then there's his brother who's really angry and hot-headed. And we've been writing other characters like Gravane, the orc, or Kage, the pterodactyl. I actually don't know what Kage is, but Kage is like a little dinosaur Yoshi guy. We've been writing a bunch of characters, and we're really enjoying it so far, and I want to turn it into something that I can actually put on the internet.
Yeah.
Whether it be a comic or a show. I want it to be a show, but I want to be able to make
But you
it
also want CNA to be a show.
Yeah, I think CNA and Arrowverse are like my primary targets for what I want to do creatively. CNA being the more well, I guess both of them are like family friendly. CNA is more the kind of like haha adventure type thing, but I imagine that would be episodic, and then Arrowverse would be more, each season would be a different like story, a different like, it'd be a continual thing for each season. So like season 1 would be, they have to like they get stranded in the middle of Antarctica because Gravane was like, I'm going to curse you into there, and then they're like, where are we? Oh God, I'm cold. You're always cold-hearted. No, my skin, idiot! Like something like that. Like I want each. Sorry, I instead of explaining it through that perfectly explains the way I explain like how I want a show to be. Rather than explaining the plot, I'll just make a joke that's in the vein of the show or the series. But so like each season would be its own story. Either that or it'd be like movies or just really long, really like either short movies, short films or regular movies, or what is that called when each episode is like a sequel to the last episode?
An
like
episode?
a continuous.
Oh,
when it's like when each episode in the season tells one story. So like,
I guess like a chapter.
I guess a chapter. Like when I think of whatchamacallit, when I think of Arrowverse, I think of it like was I too quiet there? No, I wasn't. Okay. When I think of Arrowverse, I think of it like it's a. So okay, CNA is like SpongeBob. Each episode is its own separate continuity, but Arrowverse would be like something like on Netflix that's meant to be binged, like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Like it's like things that happened in the previous seasons happened, but we're focusing on what's happening in the current season. And things can be affected because of the previous seasons, but it's never a case of I am angry. I don't know. Randomly the Demogorgon comes back from the dead. like one of those things. Like, I guess that's a bad way to explain it. Wouldn't write my own speeches, but
I actually, now that you mention Stranger Things, we should probably talk about the fact that we've been rewatching it with a friend.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I'll let you take this one. I talked for a really long time.
We basically. Oh, and I'm dead. We basically.
I was like, you stopped recording?
No.
Yeah.
We started watching Stranger Things with a friend who actually he's never actually seen it, right? That was the whole reason he wanted to watch it.
Yeah, well, he never said he really wanted to watch it, but I was like, oh, Austin, I feel like you'd really like it. And he was just like, I mean, I guess. I was like, oh, wait, Austin, are you doing anything right now? No, and so we just started watching season 1, and then we let you know. Or no, we let Lance, or actually, we didn't let Lance know. Lance just kind of showed up. But we were watching it in our...
Lance did just... That's what Lance does, is he fucking just shows up.
That really is what Lance does. I swear to God, by the way, I don't have like notifications for joining and leaving turned off. I can hear everybody join. Somehow, Lance, our friend Lance, the Imperfect Animator, Lance H, I can't remember what his new YouTube is, but you probably know him as the Imperfect Animator. He just appears in the call without making a single noise, and then disappears equally as quietly. Like, he'll never know when he joins and when he leaves. And I don't know how he does it. And he's like Batman. But, you know, it's weird. But yeah, no, so we've been watching Stranger Things with our friend Austin, and he's been really enjoying it. We've been trying to do this thing where every time there's a scene that they find funny, we'll make or I'll make a meme of it. We have ones of like button pressing. This thing, you know,
I love that one. The button pressing one is my favorite.
Yeah, so it'll just be somebody guy like slamming a button, and it's just like looped like 10 times. There's one of do I make myself clear, and then he just kind of fades away. A bunch of stuff like that. It's a bunch of really stupid things, but we've been having fun reading it or watching it.
It's interesting because rewatching Stranger Things, I realized how much of like what Stranger Things did, how much of the writing I like took inspiration from. Like the whole like underground secret facility stuff. It's like, man, that's really cool. I want to do that.
I'm gonna do that. Me.
But I really Stranger Things probably was the main thing that got me. When did Stranger Things come out? Like, when was the first time it aired an episode?
I believe 2015.
Yeah, that would sound about right.
Stranger Things. It was 2016.
Okay, yeah, that would be about right. So, I feel like a lot of my writing was based off of Stranger Things, which I'm very grateful for because it gave me a lot of really good ideas.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing to take inspiration from, quite honestly. Yeah. Actually, come to think of it, why don't you talk about your series a little bit?
My overarching series.
Yeah.
My universe is so big. It's not even funny.
I mean, I talked about Arrowverse for a while.
Yeah. So the main idea of my universe was that there was like this school that was it was like a college more of and some of the students who were attending ended up like right in the middle of like a world war, basically. But it wasn't like a world war between nations. I guess that's not technically a world war then.
They were just generally really angry.
It was a world war against a single robot. This guy, I don't know where. Like again, I don't know where these ideas came from. They just came from out of the blue. I just put them together. This guy made a robot really hated humanity, and he gave the robot a directive, which was get rid of humanity.
Kill all humans.
And after he made the robot, he literally, died. So.
Oh yeah, wasn't it the raccoon little guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy raccoon boy.
Crazy raccoon boy. So this single raccoon robot, he's just a bastard. Like, I don't think I've ever written a character more chaotic. Because there are points in the story where he can be, at least in the beginning, because there is a time where they end up winning and he gets vanquished or whatever. I guess that's not the word, but
yeah,
vanquish. It sounds like medieval, but he gets he gets fucked basically, and
ooh, saucy.
Thank you, Cap.
You're very
No, but what happens is this one girl who she grew up just with her father. She didn't really have any she wasn't really good at anything outside of maybe metalworking. She did that because she grew up doing that because her father ran a jewelry business, and so she learned how to do that for him. So when she gets caught in the middle of this, she decides that she wants to, I guess, be a help is the first thing. And it all begins, her motives, it all begins is because the person who she was going to school with, she had a huge thing for, and that person ended up dying of mysterious causes, dying, quote unquote. So she ends up joining like a rebellion group, and she becomes like a lead scientist because her father, her father inherited the jewelry business from her mother. So when her mother died when she was really young, her father originally was was into robots and making stuff like that. So when the mother died, he decided he wanted to take over the business instead of continue to be a scientist or whatever. And he decides. So what basically she does, she basically becomes her dad in a sense, but her dad was kind of an asshole. And she meets all these people along the way. She ends up there's this crazy thing. There's a simulation happened. She ended up going into it, saving people, recruiting them. She ends up finding a like a memory disk of the person who died at the whole reason she started it. And she started working for like years on trying to create like a sentient AI that could use like the data and just basically recreate the person. Which, in hindsight, isn't really like imagine it's funny because the person actually comes back and it's funny because, like, they approach each other and it's like, oh yeah, I tried to recreate you as a robot because I was that lonely. And it's like, maybe, just a little bit, maybe, that probably wasn't a good idea. And nobody around her was like...
Maybe, probably not.
Nobody around her was like, said anything. Everyone was just like, okay, I guess she's doing this. And I mean, here's the thing: her research added a lot to understanding how the funny robot guy worked. It added a shit ton. So her research did definitely benefit, but at the same time, it felt like she was more doing it for moral gain. And I don't know if you can tell, but this character is widely based off of me.
What?
Yeah, I know, crazy. I try to make her just like a person that does selfish things, but ends up somehow helping people, which works. Like she takes in a kid, and kid ends up being a werewolf, and she's like, okay. So she raises the kid, and she doesn't really do it. She only did it originally because she wanted to see how it was raising a supernatural kid or something like that. And then she ended up, actually feeling like a mother figure to this child, and she definitely gets a lot better when she gets older. She's like, man, this stuff that I did was really stupid. I think anyone can agree. When you get older, the more you realize some of the stuff that you did when you were younger was probably the stupidest thing you've probably ever done.
Oh yeah, it's fucking it's one of those things when you grow up and you're just like, oh yeah, I was an idiot.
Yeah. But she ends up, she's in her 40s, right? She's retired, she's married, all her kids are gone off and are living the dream. And he ends up, the robot, he ends up appearing again. And her immediate thought was, well, I gotta go take care of him. Because it turned into more of them having a beef with each other. It went from the robot going through to his directive to him becoming more sentient of what he is. And his main, there's a point in the story where the entirety of New York is just in fucking shambles. It's like an ash wasteland, and there's cannibals. There's cannibals. There's people who worshipped the robot as a god, and they ate anybody who didn't, I guess, believe in their, I guess, fake religion. But he ends up putting up posters of the girl, the main character, on around New York, ends up plastering them everywhere. And it's a huge, it's like you're forced, they forced people to choose a side, and there are some people in the story that don't agree with either side, which is always fun to have, the neutral party, yeah. So it was interesting. It was interesting to write that, mainly because I wanted to I wanted to figure out how society would react to imagine just this robot raccoon mascot looking thing showing up one day, and he just he gets on the television feed of every television, him and his Brooklyn accent, and he's like, hey guys, I'm gonna bomb the entirety of Russia. And they're like, there's no way he's gonna bomb the entirety of Russia. And he bombs the entirety of Russia.
He's like, he bombed the entirety of Russia.
It's funny. They're like, this is just a funny, silly prank by those kids. And everybody's watching this go down because it was I don't know, everyone's like, oh, there's this thing threatening. I mean, because imagine if somebody came on and said that, and they actually backed up their proof, and they're like, okay, now what now? I feel like that would be terrifying.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's the story. I definitely, there's a lot of points in there where I write. There's a lot of funny stuff. There's a lot of stuff when it gets dark, like the cannibals and shit. And
lighthearted fun.
But it's been fun writing a universe that's very dynamic. Because I don't...
Yeah, one that's realistic.
Yeah. and it's cool because there are some moments where the characters and like the whole story can be like silly and stupid, and then there's times where these people just like it's like probably the darkest I've written stuff. Like there's a lot of like small story details that I've written in like notes that are like even when I was writing them I was like this is kind of weird. But I wanted to have it as dynamic as possible. Like I wanted to make it feel like a real universe, like a real world. So like there's always the good part and really really bad part. But it's definitely been fun. I've been working on it for over probably 3 years now. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with it just yet. But I really do want to expand, just keep expanding on it. But anyway, so where was I? She ends up like finding out that he exists. He's like came out of hiding, and so her first thought it was, well, I gotta do something about it. So they end up in fucking Antarctica, which
I like how both of our stories have to do with Antarctica.
yeah.
Nice.
They end up in Antarctica, which has there's like a rebel base, like an old base there, that somebody made during the war, and they end up there, and he's like, you and me, kid, 1-on-1. Let's finish this once and for all. Because he really did not like her, and she's like, I don't like you either. Fuck you. So she ends up. There's a whole thing that ends up happening. I haven't written the details too heavily yet. There's a whole thing that ends up happening, and she ends up sacrificing herself to get rid of him. And it's a smart move. But you also gotta keep in mind, she raised like 3 kids, so they're just gonna come home to their apartments, their 9 to 5, getting a call from their mom and being like, yeah, your other mom is dead. Okay. But like at the same time you're like, she did it for a good reason though?
Please. At the very least.
At the very least.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a funny stuff, there's like loss and grief,
Sad stuff,
and then there's like the sequel, like the sequel spin-off that I was working on.
Yeah.
But it's a very wide universe that I've been working on for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I should probably talk about it with you guys more, because I mean, it's my passion project basically.
Yeah. God, that reminds me. Like, I think a big obstacle definitely for me never being able to work on Arrowverse is that. Let me get back in the position I was at, because now I'm doing the talk. I was leaning back, so I was a little quieter. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. One of the big obstacles for Arrowverse is that the person that made the model of New Era that I use, also just from henceforth, the characters New Era and Old Era, I tend to shorten them to just Newy and Oldie, so I'm just going to refer to them like that. But the person who made Newy, his model, he's not taking commissions right now, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, wait. Yeah, 4 characters we've written so far. I guess I you know what, let me make it 5 because 2 of them are really small, so I'm going to count them as one person. So 5 characters, and he doesn't have commissions open right now. He hasn't had commissions open for a while. So I've been in that awkward position of like, I want to give you money, please let me give you money. I want to work on this, and because here's the thing. You already know, I have, friends that can make this, like, that, like, easily.
Yeah.
But, like, and even, come to think of it, my friend Austin, he's even made an old era, like an oldie model. But the thing is, it's one of those things where it's like next to each other, it stands out that it's two different modelers. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to have like a consistent style for this. And it's like, it's one of those things where, I want to do it, I want to make it, I'm just being held back.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. I really wanted to do like a comic just for the longest time of one of my stories, and I'm just like, I sit down and then I realize I can't fucking draw. I don't have the talent.
Sad.
And then I get sad and I close
and wake up in the snow with
Clip
popsicle in my
Studio
mouth.
Paint. And
I mean, you did just get Clip
I did.
Studio
But I was trying to draw it yesterday, and I just lost it. I lost it, man. I gotta start practicing on paper again. But
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, in due time, I can see you, like, cause I know, I believe in all my friends.
What?
Apparently, I am a stupid, dumb idiot, stupid for believing in my friends. Cause all of my friends are like pessimistic, and I'm over here like, I love my friends. They're gonna do great in the world, and then everyone else is just like, God, I fucking took a shit today and it looked wrong, and I don't know if I can keep taking a shit, man. It's just like, no, you can do it. I believe in you that you can take a shit. And they're like, I can't take a shit, can I? And then, but
it's definitely hard working by yourself.
Yeah.
That's been one of my main issues, that I have nobody helping me out.
Well, then again, I really only have the one friend who's helping me. And then again, it's, because it's, because it's equally his. If you guys, again, don't know, Old Era, New Era, which are the main characters, they're based off of me and a friend.
Wow.
And, and that friend is the artist for the series. And he's really he's a really good artist. He's the one who made, the thumbnail for the YouTube video and the icon of the podcast on Spotify. And it's of course I really like it. It's really good. But like it's mainly like because he has his own set of characters, and he tends to do more fan art than original stuff. Because I love him. I really do. And he draws so much amazing stuff, but like recently it's been much more like fan art stuff rather than OC stuff. So like it's mainly been like a lot of the world building has been things I've had, like Papa Hanafuda, which is their grandfather, Kage, Greyvein, like all of those were like characters that I came up with that was like, I want to flesh out the world a little bit. One, I will give him that he came up with. If you guys don't know, by the way, I think Kayla might know the story. It's a funny story in my opinion. This entire universe came from because in 2018, not in 2018, it was like 2017, I was like, I like Mario Odyssey. It looks really cool. And he was like, I don't think Mario Odyssey looks cool. I think it looks stupid. And we were just getting into fights all the time. And by the way, side note, now he's come around and he's realized, like, oh shit, I really like Mario Odyssey. He he's no longer a sassy Sue about it. But, and he'd always say that, the SNES era was best for Mario. So, and because we're both big fans of Rankin Bass, specifically Heat Miser and Snow Miser, he made an image around Christmas time of like both of us dressed up like Heat Miser and Snow Miser, with like holding not holding, like just near the game that we liked. So for me it was Odyssey, for him it was Super Mario All Stars, and we were just yelling at each other. And I was like, haha, that's funny. You know, you should do something. And then I kept doing things with it. Like I took that drawing and I kept doodling and like making little things of like there was an animation I did that was just like what's the matter, blockhead? Got too many. I think Kaylin's seen that video. Yeah, that's an old one. That's what they're really, really old designs. But then we were like, you know, we should upgrade these. We should make them more original. And what ended up coming of that was he gave his character, which at the time didn't have names. They were just called the console misers. And then I was just like, you know, let's see here. John, who is our artist, he was like, he gave himself kind of a Pokemon-ish kind of vest because he really likes Pokemon, and some cargo pants because he used to wear them a lot back then. And at the time, we both had just normal shoes, and then for me, he gave me a little, like a hoodie and brown sweatpants because I used to wear khakis a lot. And then we gave him the little big pointy bits that Rankin Bass had. And then I was like, wait, hold up. Hear me out. What if I had Wario shoes? And he was like, ooh. So then he did that. And then he was like, wait, what about me, though? Because then, like, I don't think my character would have... Wait a second. And then he drew himself with the boots from the Mario movie. And we were like, ooh. So basically we designed the characters based on ourselves. And then we had these tiny guys. I just realized this entire rant stemmed from me trying to explain where some side characters came from. But the characters originally this rant was about came about during that design when we were like, yeah, let's kind of branch them off from Heat Miser and Snow Miser a little bit. Oh yeah, and then the names Old Era, New Era was like, oh, it's, you know, like Heat Miser, Snow Miser, so there's one syllable, two syllables. So, and then we were like, well, if one half like makes the old games and the other half makes new games, what if it's like eras? The eras, so there's old era, new era. So then that was what happened there. And the characters that finally we're going to discuss are what we call Pixels and Joy-Cons. And then these little guys, they're like smaller versions of Oldie and Newie. And they don't ever talk. We've had discussions that we'd want our friends to voice them, where instead of it being like, yeah, you tell them, boss, or something, they'd just be like, huh? So they'd be like Crash Bandicoot. They'd never say that. Like the most they do is say like one kind of word, like how "whoa" isn't a real word. It's like a half word. It's an exclamation. They'd exclaim rather than talk. Yeah, no. The history of the character I found kind of...
It's definitely interesting to hear the vast difference between what I wrote and like what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I think the big difference is that like your story is like a mix of like your like, well, first off, your real life,
yeah,
and the real world, and like, oh, what if like werewolves lived among us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And mine is like,
what if elves made Nintendo games?
It's like it's one of those. It's definitely the style of right. Like you want to make more stories, and you want to have more like.
I want to have more like.
You want to have like serious stories, and I want to have like, turn on the TV, eat a bowl of cereal, kind of like feel good stuff to watch.
Yeah.
I always wanted to make like cartoons, and I want to make cartoons. You want to make stories.
I've always
That-
wanted
that
to
rocks.
do like, God, you know what would be my favorite thing to do in the world? I would love to adapt my story to like a crime TV show,
I just realized the perfect way to describe it.
what?
I want to make movies. You want to make films.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So you'd want to turn it into a.
I'd
crime
want to. You
TV.
know how like, what's a good example here?
Live PD.
No. Scripted.
Like Ozark.
Something like Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know why my brain was like Ozark, and I've never seen Ozark, but I've seen Breaking Bad twice.
Yeah. Something like Breaking Bad,
Oh.
where it's like,
Yeah. It's like serious, like
Yeah.
TV, where it's like.
I would love to do that.
Shit, I gotta rewatch. Have you seen El Camino?
I have not yet.
Oh my god, you gotta watch it. It's so fucking good. It's basically an episode of Breaking Bad, but longer and with a way bigger budget.
Yeah. But I'd
but
love
yeah,
to
no.
do something like cinematic like that. It would be
Yeah.
like a dream to adapt it into like a television show.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I actually don't think I've had any like serious OCs. Like all of my OCs, I've had adult OCs, but I've never had like I've had I have Don, I have Krygor and Balrog, two different, not the same universe, but I have the Balrog, which is much like cruder, like oh, he walks around in his underwear and has a fucking bulge kind of character, and then Krygor, which is he just makes a bunch like that's like my regular type of writing, but it's the kind of show or not show. I want Krygor to be like a band. I want Virtual Matic, as I call it, but like so rather than like C and A where it's like I don't want like C to be like the fuck, you know. I don't want like I don't want, you know, the characters to swear because, you know, I want it to be more family friendly. Krygor is the fucking, it's just my regular writing, but like I'm not afraid to do like I think one image that comes to mind is just an image of him just saying like, you know, like back the fuck up or shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever written a serious adult thing.
I've been thinking about writing like this serious adult universe when I was fucking 12. I was just like,
I'm 12 and this is deep.
yeah, I want to do this. This is what I want to do today.
So you started it when you were like 12 and you were
I
just like,
imagined like
like
I concepted it in my mind. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I was like, I want to do a really dark story. And when I was like 12, for some odd reason, I don't know why, but this is a common theme whenever I write. When I think of like anything dark, I always think of like death being like a main thing. Like some people think like, oh, it could be like, because there's definitely like gruesome stuff in my my series, but like I feel like death is like the main factor. Cause like, I mean, I guess if when you're thinking about it in the real world,
Death is one of those things. I think I might have brought it up. I either brought it up with somebody else or I brought it up in a pod. No, I brought it with somebody else. Death is a concept in shows that like I don't know how to explain. It's every show approaches death differently.
yeah.
I think the show. I don't want to spoil anything. Have you seen BoJack?
I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I think BoJack. I'm not saying anything. I'm just going to say I think BoJack like discusses death the best out of every.
From what I remember
show
in
I've seen.
BoJack, it
And
was
I'm not
very.
talking. I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
not talking about Beatrice, but I ain't saying who though. I ain't saying
Okay.
who. So there's no spoily bits. I'll just leave you with that like little cliffhanger. But you know, BoJack discusses it like, cause I'm just gonna say, the one thing I will discuss about the whole death thing is, apparently they wrote it in a way that you can interpret what they meant any way you want. And the way that most people like the way that they handled it, or not handled it, the way they discussed it was really good, but the way they discussed it is like, or not the way. The message you take from it is what they wanted you to be more.
Yeah, that's definitely
Like-
what I wanna.
Yeah.
The kind of thing that I want a story that people can enjoy, but I also want, I want to like reflect. I use my story and writing to, I guess, reach out to people, and you know, it's like, oh, if some stupid fictional characters can do it, maybe you can too,
Yeah, why can't I?
as
Yeah.
long as it's legal and not bombing the entirety of Russia,
Unless that's your thing.
unless that's your thing.
But you know, that's really you know, something this is actually something I wanted to bring up in the beginning that I feel like it. Fuck, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but like, it's not. I don't think it's as important of a show as BoJack. It's much sillier of a show. Yeah, I guess I'll just bring it up that like, a show that I thought they would ham-fist it with the way they did it, but I actually kind of like how they went about it. Was have you seen F is for Family?
I have not. I've been recommended it though.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's fucking. It's. How do I put it? You know how every like family type, like not family sitcom, a sitcom about a family is always like, we bicker but we love each other.
Yeah.
F is for Family is like, it takes place in the 70s, and the entire show is like, we bicker, and at any moment we could get a divorce.
So like the real world.
Yeah, basically. It's written by Bill Burr, who I consider like
Yeah.
the modern day George Carlin. Because he's just
Fair enough.
really fucking straight. Like, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. It's either like the world is fucked, or the world is really fucked. But yeah, no, I really I enjoy it, and I don't want to spoil anything, but season 4 just came out. I'll discuss season 4 maybe a little bit more in depth next episode.
I will watch. I will attempt to watch.
Yeah, it's only 4 seasons so far, and it's on Netflix, so it's really bingeable.
Yeah.
But I'll discuss. You know what? Let's just have. This is gonna be a preemptive spoiler warning for next episode. But yeah, I really like F is for Family. It's the reason I like it too is because I watched, I believe, like the entire first 9 or 10 or 12 seasons of The Simpsons, which, might I add, it's fucking hilarious. I love The Simpsons, but like, it's so nice to see an idea like that, but like everybody's like a bitch.
Yeah.
So there's like the father who's really hot-headed, and of course he uses a threat that I swear to God I want to use more often, which is, I'll put you through that fucking wall.
That's
Which
good.
I just it's so threatening that I love
that's
it.
really good.
So there's that. There's the wife. There's the husband Frank. The wife Sue. The 15-year-old teenager. Kevin. The 8-year-old. Not 8-year-old. I don't know how old they are. But then there's like a brother and a sister who are like 2 years apart, and they're like 10. and it's Bill and Maureen, and then they just had a baby, season 4. I can't remember. I don't know if they gave her a name, but it's really I very much enjoy it.
I'll put that on my
always
list to watch. Maybe we can discuss it next episode.
And another show I think you should watch. This one's only 1 season, although they are like Breaking Bad level, like Breaking Bad kind of like long episodes.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Space Force?
I have not.
It's the new show by the people who made The Office and Parks and Rec.
That's how I know that it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and it stars Steve Carell.
Yep.
And he's not a main character. He's a minor character that shows up, I think, like twice. But you know who plays the leader of the Navy?
No.
None other than Patrick Warburton.
Oh, that's perfect.
And John Malkovich too. He's a main character, and that's the first time I've seen John Malkovich as like a main character. So now I see why Aaron does a really silly impression of him on Game Grumps. Holy shit! He talks so specifically in the way he announces everything. I can't even do an impression. It's so specific. Like I feel like it's the kind of voice I could do an impression of, which I love. But I adored the show so much. It's fucking hilarious. There was at one point I was getting really stressed out from the show because it's like, as they know how to do thanks to The Office, they know how to write characters that you don't hate them, but there's just that one episode where you're just like, you're doing all the wrong things. But yeah, no, I fucking loved it. It was so funny.
I will add that to my list as well. I got a lot of things I gotta watch. I gotta watch Community.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Also watch that. I guess I'd recommend watch Space Force first because that's only 1 season over the 9 seasons. Although the Community does have, oh my god, I'll just say a lot of people complained about the 8th season. Personally, the 8th season wasn't. It was the weakest season by far, but it wasn't as awful as everyone says. Yeah, it's like they hit all the right marks. They just hit them incorrectly. They chimp brain. You know how I chimp brained that one level of Portal?
Yeah, they chimp brained it.
That was the entirety of the 8th season. They got it. They just got it the wrong way. Yeah. And it was funny, but it wasn't Community kind of funny. Which, by the way, side note, that reminds me, Community does something that I so wanna. I might do it with CNA. Community does something that I fucking adore, and I wish more series did. So they don't have like a set genre, if that makes any sense. So they have, obviously the sitcom, but like every maybe like 3 to 4 to 5 episodes, they just parody something. And the finale of the first season, and like I think the second season, is a paintball episode. That in the first season is a parody of like shit like The Matrix, like action movie type stuff.
Yeah.
And then the second one is the second season finale is a 2-parter. That the first one is a parody of cowboy films, and the second one is a parody of Star Wars. It's so fucking great, and I wish more. And then the one from season 8 that I want to try to do in a better way is they had like an entire episode as puppets, like Muppet style puppets. Oh, and then my favorite one, besides the paintball, is I can't remember which season it was, but they had an episode. Because there's a character in it called Abed, who has Asperger's. And fun fact, by the way, I used to be when I was a kid, I used to get really offended when people made people with Asperger's weird. Now that I'm almost 20, I'm 2 days from recording this. I'm 2 days away from being 20. At almost 20, I realized, yeah, people with Asperger's are fucking weird. I should know, having suffered with it for nearly 20 years. But yeah, they write him as, cartoonily weird, which I'm fine with because, it's goofy character. And so his little thing, because you know how everybody with Asperger's has that like one thing?
Yeah.
With him, it's film and like film, TV. Like he wants to be a filmmaker. So he compares everything to like shows or movies. And so when they were trying to was like, why do you hate Christmas, or why do you hate the winter season? I can't remember which one it was. He's Muslim, but it was like, why do you hate blank? We need to find the true meaning of Christmas, and he was doing that. It was showing the entire thing in his mind, and because they were finding the spirit of Christmas, you know what they parodied?
I'm assuming. Yeah.
I like the pause there. They parodied Rankin Bass cartoons.
Oh.
So it was the entire thing was stop motion claymation. And it was so good. And everyone died. Like Willy Wonka, everybody like dies in a really unique way that like shows their arrogance.
Now that you bring it up, I heard you mention it. You are hitting the big 2-0 soon.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it. I'm 2 days away from legally not being able to classify as a teenager anymore, and I don't even own a suit. I don't even own an actual tie. All of my ties are clip-on. Like I don't even have a fucking blazer. The closest I get to fancy is I have a sweater vest. That's the closest to an adult outfit I have. Everything else is like fucking graphic tees and sweatpants.
You are still at heart a teenager, despite.
I am at heart still like 14, 13. 12.
It's weird to think
well,
that
okay, at heart like 8, but
it's very weird to think that you're hitting 20. That's so weird to me. It's
gonna feel weirder hitting 30, I think, because that's when I can finally say I'm middle-aged. And that is half of my lifespan away.
Yeah.
I am over middle-aged. Actually, come to think of it, I'm probably middle-aged now. I'm probably gonna die young. Then again, I don't just, as Bojack puts it, you don't deserve to die young. Only the greats die young. Don't worry, by the way. If anybody listening, that's a little jab at the fact that I eat like shit. I'm not insinuating anything. Oh shit, is Dangerless doing Wario World runs again?
Kyle, I have a quick question.
Yeah. Shit, he is.
I've coined this term, but would you say you've lived on this world for about 20 years and you're still a dumbass?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Easily.
I've coined that term.
What term?
That's my Twitter. My Twitter is I've lived on this world for 18 years, still a dumbass.
Oh, I like professional dumbass.
Ah, that one's good too.
But yeah, no, it's weird. I'm fucking old.
I hope everybody, if whoever is watching this, oh no, well by the time it goes up, wait, what's today?
Today is the 18th.
Okay, no, so if this goes up tomorrow,
it'll be so. For context, this is being recorded on the 18th,
Thursday,
and my birthday is on the 20th. Or as a lot of people think a lot of people think it is the 19th, because every time I'm like, hey, I'm gonna upload a video at like midnight for YouTube. I only made 2 birthday videos. Hopefully if I'm quick enough, the video I'm making now can be a birthday video. But yeah, so every time I scheduled it for midnight one time, and then when it went up, it said that it went up on the 19th. So the year after that, I was like, yes, I'm gonna be smart. I'm uploading this video at 3 in the morning, so everyone sees it when they wake up. But it still says the 20th. It goes up, and for some reason, 3 in the morning still counts as the 19th.
Crazy.
Crazy. Wild.
You know what's
Wild
something else
stuff.
I realized? You are
What is something?
2 days behind sharing a birthday with Edelgard.
You know, we had a good run of that word, that name not being said. Well,
Dude, you
Fun while
have
it
a
lasted.
birthday during Edelgard month. That's crazy. Congratulations. That's
did you
that's
just
an
call
honor.
it Edelgard month?
I said Edelgard month.
Bitch, it's Kyle month.
It is Edelgard month, and it is also Pride month.
I'm going to... It is also Pride month, that's
Yeah.
a good point. But I'm just gonna, like, take a knife and slowly insert it into your chest.
I would not be opposed
Also,
to that.
apparently, Ganondorf is a fan of Metallica.
We are running up on time. It is. We're in.
We are.
We were a lot longer than I wanted to record for, actually. Because that's more
Wow.
editing for me.
Yeah!
But is there
God,
anything
I-
that you want to add?
Uh,
Any good advice?
Stan Donkey Kong.
Hold on. I'm gonna go to like a random advice generator.
Yeah,
Just
advice generator. Okay. Random advice online generator.
these are actually.
To get rid of poverty, you need to get rid, first of all, of habits that pull you into a moneyless pit.
That's
You know what?
actually pretty good.
Actually,
That's
you know
actually
what?
pretty good
You know
advice.
what? Actually, don't listen to that advice. You spend your money any way you want, as long as you are happy and as long as you're not poor.
Yes,
You need money to eat and breathe and
and also
well, not breathe, but
spend money on
but if
the
you have
non-existent
money,
is nothing easy merchandise that it
yes,
will never
buy
exist.
our shirts. Buy our shirts, like the design, and our mugs with on it.
We'll just sell just blank T-shirts.
It's just like on the tag it says in really small text in the corner. It's nothing.
It's nothing easy.
But yeah, no. I mean, if this podcast ever takes off, which I doubt it will, because I looked at the stats and there was only there were no streams so far. As of recording, no streams on the second episode on Spotify. So that's fun. Then again, I don't think we've really advertised that we're on Spotify.
We have not.
So yeah, we're on Spotify.
We are
everyone,
on Spotify.
If you want to follow us there. Which also, by the way, reminds me, Kaylin, fucking. Wait, I need to make sure of something really quickly. There's something that's been bothering me and driving me crazy.
All right, make it quick.
That Kaylin has not been listening to me on. That there is a bot that, god damn it, there's a bot that
I'm gonna do it right now, Kyle. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna delete it right fucking
Thank
now.
you. There's a bot. What they do is they oh, there's a new Markiplier Minecraft. So there's a bot that what it does is it finds small accounts and it comments on it, asking a question or saying something that would elicit a response. And if you reply to them at all, your account will get hacked.
I removed the comment, Kyle.
Thank you.
Is
But we had it on the previous one. We had it on episode 2. We had it on episode 3, and it was generally because it's just like we're a small account. We're at 249 subscribers right now. You know how it be. But yeah, no. So overall, hope I'm gonna. If you guys ever see a comment like that, by the way, that is, saying shit like here before 300 subscribers. I just wanted to say hello before I sleep. Also, let's build each other up, or like just something
anything
generally
that's like suspicious
hello.
as fuck.
Yeah, or like
Has nothing to
just
do with the
something like
video.
hello as a comment.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Don't reply to them, because somehow, I don't know how, replying to it can hack your account.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that your advice?
Fucking YouTube. That's my advice. You know what? That's my advice. Don't reply to suspicious ass fucking comments.
My advice, according to Random Advice Generator, is get up and dance. I am not gonna get up and dance. It is 4
You know what I
p.m.
wanna
I'm
do?
tired.
I want to get like, I want to make a website that just like generates. Actually, is there just a random word? Yep. Never mind. Okay. My advice for you is air job person, instrument thanks, glance officer, cell noble, tactic toss, flexible sentry, election chief.
Thank you, Kyle.
You're very welcome.
And that's where we'll end it.
And that's okay, and that's where we end it. Alright, so I think I broke my leg.